Hello and welcome to Some of My Friends Read Comics. We've got Vince.
Smooth move, Ferguson.
That's the wrong... Okay, we got Chris.
Me? I'm a bore.
And I'm Kia. Hi, welcome to the show. Neither of y'all did a quote from, Sabrina. Y'all, Chris, you did McDuck's, and Vince, you did Clarissa Explains It All.
Thank you for explaining it all.
Which was 2 Sabrina shows ago, and not even because it was a different. Never mind. So today we read Chilling Adventures of Sabrina like a long time ago.
Exactly 100 episodes ago. Episode 60.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is 165, and that was episode 65. I did not plan this. We did it in 2017. We talked about, we did in October 2017. We said the new TV show is going to get launched from the Riverdale team. That should be exciting. And that show came on a year later on Netflix and had 4 seasons and has come and gone. So it's been a minute. We also joked, we're like, well, hopefully that next volume will end and we can cover it in 5 years. So it's been 4 years. They just relaunched it last week.
Yeah, the reason we never came back to it is because there wasn't really more. So we read the first 5 issues forever ago. 6, 7, and 8 were also out, but then it just kind of stopped mid-storyline and never got finished. But now it's finally getting finished. So we said we were going to read 6, 7, and 8 now, in anticipation of the rest of this storyline coming out, and I guess we'll read that at a later point. But number 9 was supposed to have come out by the time of this recording. Did that happen?
I honestly don't know.
I think it did. It did.
I read it.
Oh.
You read it?
Yeah.
How was it?
Were we supposed to read it?
No.
I don't know.
Okay. You don't know.
What happens. I'll tell you what happens.
Don't tell me what happens because we're gonna read it for another episode of the show. You can keep the spoilers for yourself.
We can do it
unless
hopefully
they're good funny spoilers.
We can do it hopefully in a year. Just like on Your Stupid Minds, Chris. I think one of your guests made a weird prediction, we'll do this again in 5 years, and then and then y'all called her on it. So
that's an amazing. Everyone who listens to Your Stupid Minds needs to. What was it called? It was the Christmas, our Christmas episode, 2020. Wow. We have 2 guests who return after 3 years, who say, see you in 2020. And then we introduce the episode by replaying that.
It's pretty amazing.
Nice.
And I was kind of like, oh, well, I should just cancel this. I was listening to the Sabrina episode from 100 episodes ago. I'm like, we should just cancel this right now and I'll bring it back in a year. I'll rip off Your Stupid Minds. Nick will love it.
Excellent. So I kind of got this vague feeling that we also read number 6 back then.
You did. You covered it.
Yeah.
I did not. And you're like, Salem's like a cat and Rudyard Kipling's in it.
Yeah, that's all I remember. I just read it again an hour ago, and that's still all I remember. No, okay, so let's jump into it. I guess we should recap what happened in the first 5 issues. Sabrina is a witch, right? And she's a violent kind of a witch. She's not violent, but this whole thing is more violent than the TV show. The old TV show, but that's all we had to compare it to back then. Yeah. Now we've got the modern show, which I think I watched just 1 season of. It's pretty good.
I think it kind of tapered off in the back half. It just kind of went directions I didn't want to go, but it's great performances, great cast. Caroline Ray actually and Zelda actually came back as alternate universe versions of themselves in the final season.
That's fun.
Yeah,
I want to see that.
Yeah, that is funny.
Is Ferguson in it?
No, there's no Ferguson or Martin Mull. Martin Mull does not make an appearance.
Oh,
it is funny when you Google the show and you get think piece articles the last season of Sabrina did Madam Satan wrong. Just that's the character's name, I guess.
Yep.
But so yeah, we have that. What's fun about this arc though is it really, I guess it has a little to do with the last arc, but the first 2 issues just feel like they're almost standalones.
Yeah. So all we need to know from the first 5 is that Harvey discovered Sabrina's a witch. It was her big birthday, whatever it is, when she turns of age and marries 16. Satan. And then all the witches saw Harvey and ate him. And then Sabrina brought him back to life.
Well,
but
there's
we don't have the details.
No, because we do know Madam Satan is her teacher. Yes. She is a demon who's been brought back to Earth. She has skulls for eyes. And she is manipulating Sabrina because Sabrina doesn't know that she's like a monster.
Lots of manipulating in these issues.
Yeah, and so she kind of points Sabrina into trying to resurrect Harvey for reasons that are made clear, I guess, more later. And then what else do we know? That's kind of the big stuff we need. Well, I guess I don't think there's really anything big we know yet.
I think we'll learn more as we go here. Plus, yeah, like Vince was saying, this first issue is pretty standalone. It's just kind of about Salem the cat and these two snakes. Oh yeah, so Sabrina's cousin Ambrose is also living with them, and he has two snakes. Those are his familiars, Naga and Nagaina. Mm-hmm. Oh, Nag and Nagaina. That's what I got. Okay. And they were so this is like they're talking to each other, and Salem's a cat, and he doesn't like to eat mice because he was a human. He's like, oh, I don't want to eat a damn mouse.
I do like this. This is this classic book, though. Like, I mean, it'd been a few years since I'd read this book, and it's like, oh, there's a mouse. Oh, but there's a cat. And I'm like, oh, Salem is an evil cat. It's like, but the cat doesn't really give a shit about the mouse, and the mouse is happy for this. But the mouse did not realize there were two snakes in the house also, and then it's ripped apart. And I'm like it's just really good pacing to like have like a nice like kind of win, and then like immediately take it from you.
Yeah, you're out. Sorry, mouse. But they get to talking, and they're like, well, how'd you become a cat? Well, how'd you become snakes? And we get the whole story for both of them. The snakes were a prince and princess in like an Indian royal family. Their mom died when they were born. What's that? And
this feels so much like House of Mystery, Sandman that we just talked about with that Swamp Thing. Tales from the Crypt. It's like, here's a parable we're just going to go to. Like it's a framing device, and I love it.
It's beautiful. And both of the stories are really fun here, I thought. So their dad is getting remarried, and he's making like this huge palace, and the kids are starting to get like jealous that this new wife is going to have new sons to replace them and like take over the family and everything. And not just that, but they've got a tutor named Sorkar who's like, she's definitely conspiring against y'all. We need to nip this in the bud now. I'm going to help y'all assassinate her. We can, drug some of the guards. You guys can then, while they're drugged, you'll sneak in and you'll kill her, and then we'll just frame the guards. Good plan. But Sorkar turns on them and like had tipped off their dad, and they get caught. It's pretty rough stuff. You kind of saw it coming.
And now that parable. Now they created their own demise by now kicking themselves out of the family for trying to assassinate the Sultan's wife. And exactly. And now they've lost their inheritance.
Yeah, now they're snakes.
Now they're snakes. Sorkar turns them into snakes. We get a nice cameo from Rikki Tikki Tavi here, who's like a gift for the Maharaja, and
which I mean I saw coming when I saw their names at the beginning. I was like, well, this is a Rudyard Kipling thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then if Rikki Tikki Tavi is not familiar, I remember there's like an animated short or like a whole animated movie from when I was younger that I loved about a mongoose that was like the big Kipling story. I remember.
He wrote that. It's a good book, one, right?
Vince, check it out. Yep, he did.
He wrote. What did you say?
He wrote a jungle book. Yeah.
Oh yes. I thought you were describing some sort of book. He wrote that blank book.
Yeah. Jungle book.
So. This Sorkar dude, then, he's like a real prick, because then he poisons the king, or the Maharaja, and then takes their bride. I guess they were in cahoots the whole time. And they take the empire for themselves and everything, until the elephant they're riding one day gets scared by some snakes and crushes them. Cool stuff. So everybody came out, basically, in the red in this whole book with this story here. They hooked up with a magic user to try and turn back to human. Then they got sold to Rudyard Kipling. And, that was kind of what happened after that.
Ended up in England, and Ambrose is from England.
Ah, there we go. Okay. So Salem's story, considerably different. He, in 1692, comes to Salem, Massachusetts, meets John Proctor.
Meets the whole cast of Crucible.
The whole cast of the Crucible. Everybody's here. He works on John Proctor's farm in Salem Village, just in exchange for like room and food and all that. And he starts getting with Abigail Williams, their servant girl, and they're having a good time, kind of banging on the rag, even in the farmhouse with the goats and stuff. And he gets her pregnant, and Abigail wants to get married, and he's like, "No, we're not going to do that." and he suggests they kill the kid. Like, damn, Salem, you're just cold.
Abigail Williams was played by Winona Ryder in the Daniel Day-Lewis movie, if you remember that one.
Did I ever see that? I don't know.
We definitely watched it, but it had some nudity in it, so we got fast forwarded a lot in English class.
You have to, yeah. So anyway, she's like, "Oh my God, I curse you, Samuel. I never want to see you again." She leaves to quote visit her aunt, but I guess really she's having this baby. Turns out, she had all these other friends. Mercy, her friend Mercy, swoops in, who seems to be like a big old slut. He's like, "Yeah, I'll take this boy." Takes him out to the woods, but no, it's like a whole witch coven. Abigail's there. The goat that lived in the barn was Satan, and the baby got fed to Satan. And it gets pretty violent. I really liked all this. He gets turned into a cat, and then right around then is when the Salem witch trial started to happen. And so the witches start to run away, and they're like, "No, we got to leave the cat. Just go." Then the cat gets like summoned by Satan, and he's Satan's slave now, and he says, "Yeah, one day you got to serve this half witch later, so you're just kind of hang out till then. Maybe you'll be human again afterwards. Maybe, no promises. I have a feeling that Satan will not keep his promise, but who knows?" And that's Salem's story. He kind of sucks. Everybody, these animals, I guess. You really do kind of got to suck if you get turned into an animal. Like, that's a pretty big punishment.
Yeah, I remember in the TV show, he tried to take over the world. So
really,
it's a little different.
I don't remember. I guess I didn't
like
see
Stewie that. Or Pinky in the Brain.
Yeah, they got turned into mice.
The only thing I know from that is that I always, whenever somebody tries to stir the pot at work, I just send out a Salem gif of him stirring the pot. So that show's legacy to me.
That's pretty good. That's a good legacy. And Martin Mull, gotta remember him.
Yeah, Martin Mull with his like fake crying voice. Yep, great.
We get a quick little epilogue here where Harvey calls and Sabrina picks up the phone and she's all excited that he's back. But she doesn't know that it is not Harvey and Harvey's body. We get all the details here in issue number 7. It is Edward Spellman, Sabrina's dad, who is now back from the dead and is living in Harvey's body and has been eating Harvey's dad and tied up Harvey's mom. And
I believe from the first volume we were led to believe, I think the first few pages show like that Sabrina's mom was committed. She was immortal. Right? Yeah, a mortal woman. And then Edward Spellman was a wizard who got put in a tree by Zelda and Hilda to set the tone that Zelda and Hilda are evil. And they just like put him in a tree and then chop down the tree or kill him or something. And that's how the book begins. You're like, oh, Edward Spellman, kind of a tragic figure. And then we immediately learn, no, huge asshole.
No. Actually, bad.
Edward Spellman sucks.
Much
so
worse
we're going to learn
than
all
Hilda
about
and Zelda.
Yeah, we learn all about this tree business too. So Edward Spellman was like a rambunctious little kid in the Church of Satan or whatever they call
Church
it.
of Night.
Church of Night, yeah. Like when he was still just a child, he taught himself how to summon a demon, and pretty impressive. I really like these scenes of him as a kid summoning demons. But his priest was so impressed. He was like, "Yeah, keep trying, like keep practicing. You're gonna get better and better one day." He summons.
It's almost like Good Will Hunting though, because Edward Spellman talks about it like, oh, it's kind of like just doing like a math problem. You put the pieces together. It's no different than like baking. Sometimes you're like, we'll just do this and this and this, and then we'll get it.
Yeah.
And then the priest is like, I'm going to give you a harder math proof. It's basically, this priest is Robin Williams.
No, he's not. If anything, he's the math professor. But
Robin Williams
not a good.
Who was the good?
Robin Williams was the therapist.
Man, it's been a while since I read Good Will Hunting. How do I like them?
I think I'd say Robin Williams is Lord Cerber. Who's like a cute little dog with 3 heads, but he's like a royal. He's royal, and he like looks fancy and stuff.
Yeah, I do like that. It does do. I mean, I've always thought it was so funny that like people's ideas of like Satanists is that they have exactly all the same trappings of like Catholicism or mainstream Protestantism, to the point that it's like, have you desecrated the hosts? He's like a reverse altar boy who has to like do all these weird.
Yeah,
it's like perfectly opposite. It's very much like a parody. Yeah.
Yeah, or I'm just like, why would you do this? It's so stupid.
It's very bizarro.
Yeah, there was, what did he say at one point? I don't remember exactly what it was. Something like the Father, the Son, and the Father, the Spawn, and the Unholy Spirit. Yeah, I like that.
They do that a lot in the TV show too.
It's so silly. It's so
I can't even remember.
Yeah. Did you turn all the crosses upside down? It's like, yeah, we did it once. You don't have to keep doing it.
So he instructs. Sorry, he summons this guy named Volak. What was his name? And he introduces himself. He's like, "Hi, I'm Edward Spellman." And his priest said, "No, don't freaking introduce yourself. Don't give a demon your name. That gives him power." And he learns his lesson. He summons Beelzebub, and he's like, "No, I'm your damn master now." And I love seeing all these demons that he keeps on summoning. It's very fun.
Robert Hack draws the shit out of this.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We didn't mention the writer-artist team: Roberto Aguirre Sacasa and Robert Hack.
That blows my mind. Is like the last issue, like such like a side detour. You're like, oh well, that's clearly a fill-in issue. Like Robert Hack still drew it, despite this book being really slow. Like he still drew it, and it's like 35.
It would have
pages.
been a perfect one for someone else to draw, but I'm glad he still did.
It would have been perfect to get what's the dog mystery? Yeah, Jill Thompson.
I knew exactly where you were going.
I'm like, this would be the one. It's all animals.
4 years ago, you said there should be a Sabrina and Beast of Burden crossover, and 4 years ago, Chris, I'm like, I agree with you.
Has it happened?
I was right then. I'm right now.
Yeah.
Well, there was a Hellboy crossover since then. So
yeah, one Eisner comic of the year, and one of the worst comics we ever. Yeah, it was terrible.
It was bad. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't terrible. It was just like, how did this win? It's more where we were at.
Well, I mean, the Hellboy story was the Christmas story that won, right? Yeah. Anyway,
this is much better single issue.
So
it is a better single issue.
We get Edward Spellman is now challenged by his priest to summon Satan because their membership numbers are dwindling, and they think that getting Satan here will pop a good crowd reaction and get everybody coming in here. So he is working real hard, but he's not getting it. And the priest is promising him rewards. And then it's like, all right, and I'll just beat you up until you do.
He's like, you're going to be the head of our church by 25. You'll be evil pope by 40.
Yeah. Evil pope.
I don't know what he calls him.
It's
like evil pope. What is it? I don't know.
Something like that. It's something like that. Dark pope, evil pope. These all sound like great ideas for a comic book.
I mean, if you ask a Baptist, the regular pope is the dark pope.
Ooh, that's the twist. So
the pope is the Antichrist. That's what what the Puritans taught Hawaiians when they came to Hawaii.
So
if there's this guy that ever comes here, just know.
It caused a lot of fights when Catholics sailors would come through and they're like, "Oh, you mean the Antichrist?" And they're like, hey, "Excuse me."
All right, so he keeps on working on this Satan summoning business, and it's Christmas. The whole congregation is gathered, and he does it. He successfully summons Satan. He shows up. And he leads what do they do at a church when the guy up there talks and everybody listens? What do you call that?
Homily.
Yeah.
Sure, one of those.
Satan dressed quite dapperly, by the way.
Very dapper.
He's got a goat head. He's got his wings. He's got his tux. He's got his cane.
And he's looking tall and lean, and he's looking good.
Yeah. Now here's my question. Since everything's opposite, is Christmas Day Mass at noon?
No, it's at midnight. No, I think it's still a midnight mass, as they just specifically said midnight mass.
Yes, I think they do, but it is funny. Everything should be the opposite. They should have it a leisurely day mass,
like a brunch, and then go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no, that's the one day they do brunch after church.
just to be the opposite.
Midnight mass, though. Speaking of, very fun show.
Yeah, I'm happy people like it. Not for me.
So I don't even know what it is. So this priest guy,
it's the guy that did the Bly Manor and the
Haunting of Hill House, and yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna keep talking about Friar Constant. That's this guy's name. Is that what FR stands for? Friar? I thought it.
Father sometimes.
Father? Oh,
probably
okay.
Father. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, all right.
It's been a minute since
I guess.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be Father. Although he does have a friar bowl haircut, so who knows?
Who knows? But he is, he's still really happy, and the numbers are coming. Everybody's coming to the church, and Edward Spellman is required to, be there to summon Satan pretty regularly, and he's getting tired of it. He's like, no, we need change. He's not getting rewarded either.
If I was Satan, man, I feel like I would be done with this. Also, I'd be seeking retribution. If somebody was like,
it's also like, you keep summoning me to just like talk to people and say shit. Like, I'm not into that. Doesn't seem like Satan's game. I was feeling a little weird by all this.
Well, I mean, Hilda and Zelda are like, our brother is a liar. Or, well, I guess Zelda specifically is like, our brother is a liar. I don't believe this. Hail Satan, blah, 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 as they're like,
Hail Satan.
But there's also, it's heavily hinted because he does summon a demon, like a female shape-shifting demon, who's like, oh, nice to meet you, Edward Spellman. So it is pretty heavily hinted what the twist is going to be.
So he drops this twist to the priest guy and is like, yep, I'm taking over. We're going to kill you. It turns out, this what's her name? Empusa? Empusa has been just shape-shifting, pretending to be Satan this whole time. Which, again, that's why he looks so dapper, I guess. But, yeah, they kill him. They take over, and they...
Oh, she actually is a Greek shape-shifting demon in Greek mythology. So if you knew who Empusa was from the beginning, you'd be like, okay.
Wow.
You'd know. So he is like, he's taken over. He's banging all the pretty young witches, trying to have a kid to carry on the Spellman legacy. The Weird Sisters, they say that he needs to take a mortal wife because, they got to have a witch/human kid so that everybody intermixes and witches don't go extinct. And so he does. He has this bride that he marries. It seems like she's been kind of under a spell throughout the whole process.
Oh, he mentioned the girlfriend that he had previously, and she's like, she was crazy. She threw herself to the lions after I.
Oh yes,
her. You know who that is? That's Mistress. That's Madam Satan.
Yes,
he mentioned her, and
yes.
She said that was like in issue 2 or whenever her origin was. She had mentioned being throwing herself to the lions. So that's her.
Iona.
Yeah,
or something like that.
I do like this though, like like in Madam Satan's origin, like that was like a big thing for her. And he's like, yeah, this crazy woman. It's 2 panels. I don't give a shit. It's not relevant to my story.
Didn't work out. So yeah, then he marries this other girl. He has Sabrina, and boy, Sabrina was not like the other kids. While they were saying hocus pocus, she'd say abracadabra. Wow, what a little scam. Anyways, like he's living through his life. His sisters eventually get wise to him. They're also like talking to Empusa, who lets it slip. And so they show up and they're like, yeah, you've been lying to everybody. This is totally not okay.
This is going to be a massive PR fallout when we find out. Like people find out. Yeah. This is going to be bad for our church.
And so they're like, yeah, we're just going to say that you disappeared and that's it. So he gets sucked down into this tree, into witch limbo.
Which this tree looks like the tree from Harrow County that we covered last year.
You know, it does. It does.
I wonder if that's a thing that I'm just not aware of in terms of mythology.
There's a lot of
evil
like witch lore.
Yeah, evil trees that are cut like that with like a big hole, like a sarlacc pit in the side of it.
Maybe. I mean, it's kind of like Nightmare Before Christmas kind of has those trees with big doors. I think trees are just good transportation tools to like, the roots and everything down there. Anyways, they he's in witch limbo and he spends like forever crawling his way back up. And eventually he made his way back into Harvey's body, and he doesn't really know why he's in Harvey's body. He like has to like look up his driver's license and like sees a picture of Sabrina. He's like, all right, this cannot be a coincidence. And I think we see some panels for Madam Satan, so we're led to believe that she had something to do with, of course she did, making sure he ended up in Harvey's body.
Harvey also lives on Elm Street, but not the Nightmare on Elm Street house. A few blocks down.
It's a different Elm Street house?
Yeah. Okay. Just so you know. Just intriguing.
It is good to know. I don't know where the Nightmare on Elm Street house is. I've never been.
1428 Elm Street.
14.
Probably like the Universal lot.
Yeah, I just rewatched Halloween because it's Halloween time. All of that stuff, Pasadena, California.
Yeah, the house in Halloween 1 is the same as the Freddy Krueger house from Nightmare on
We
Elm
didn't
Street.
mention it's Halloween time. We got to go. Oh my God! I also didn't mention we're reading Scrooge McDuck #6. Did I say that?
I
might
don't
have
know
said
if we
that.
did. Chris mentioned
Who knows?
Flint Heart Glomgold. So,
Yeah.
spoiler.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
I quoted it. Yes.
All right. So on to Sabrina #8, the last one we're reading for right now.
I'm reading it. I'm going to summarize issue 9.
You're
Madam
going to
Satan.
summarize.
I do actually want to know if this picks up on the threads of this, or they just started holding work.
I think it picks up. I think I saw that it's Witch War Part 3. This is Witch War Part 2 right now.
Psychopomps.
Psychopomps. We'll learn what those are in a second. So
I mean, you don't already know. I mean,
I don't.
It's pretty basic stuff. Didn't you play Hades?
I was about to ask, are they in Hades?
Oh, is that what they were called? I don't remember. I don't know the names of anything. So the cousin Ambrose,
Hermes and Thanatos are psychopomps in Hades.
Hermes?
Yes, the god, the messenger god, and Thanatos and what's his name, Charon. They're the
psycho.
Yes. Oh my god.
Well, let's get to what the psychopomps are before we.
Okay.
Okay.
And you'll understand.
We will get somebody mentioned them early. I'm not. This isn't my fault. All right. So the cousin Ambrose is questioning Sabrina, who's like, "Hey, Harvey's back. This ain't all right. You shouldn't have."
Time to listen to My Boyfriend's Back. You're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, she's like dancing. She's so happy about it. It's a good song. I was imagining.
She's very literal 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Dancing in her underwear.
She flies off to meet Harvey at a diner. We got a Jughead cameo too.
Not just any diner, the Pops' diner from Archie.
Yeah. And she gets like a premonition of other versions of herself and other versions of Jughead while he's nearby.
Yeah,
like from Afterlife with Archie.
Afterlife with Archie, yeah, which we also covered, I think, the following year, 2018. Which
I don't think we liked it.
We didn't like it as much, no.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we should read the volume 2 at some point, because I don't think that's continued past its second volume either.
I don't think that's wrapped up either.
Yeah.
But so Edward Spellman as Harvey is like, no, I can't kiss my daughter. And it was like, actually, wait a minute, why can't I? But we don't actually see it happen because then Jughead interrupts. So I'm like, all right, this dude's kind of weird.
Don't like it. I mean,
Sabrina,
I do know that he's an evil Satanist that's like with Satan.
I'm fine with all that.
I'm fine with all that, but the incest is still like,
It's weird. It's very Back to the Future where like this should be something you want to do.
So Sabrina admits to, quote, Harvey that she is a half witch. And, we just kind of use this time to have Edward Spellman like fish for details. And she tells him like everything about how the witches hate him and how he's back and how she's getting help from another witch. Piques his interest. Then Hilda and Zelda show up. And they're like, no. This is not okay. We get like, there's going to be retribution. We got to kill this guy right now. You cannot do this. Sabrina is not letting it happen. But then here's where the psychopomps show up. And who wants to explain psychopomps? They take away dead people or people who are going to die? Something? I don't know.
Yes, it's their job to, I guess, transport the souls of the dead. That's what it literally is. So
they're brains with octopus
they look
tentacles.
like brains for some reason.
They're brainy jellyfish.
Like scully, brainy kind of jellyfish. And I like their design. I think they look great. They're like trying to literally carry Harvey away. And then Sabrina summons, like, they go to this graveyard. Pops is looking out of his diner window. It's like, what in the hell? And they summon all these souls out of a graveyard, and the psychopomps are like, oh, we got to take these souls now. It takes all them. And then finally Zelda and Hilda like concede, and it's like, all right, fine, but this is your trouble now. Like, you got to deal with this shit. So Sabrina gets home. She's mad at Ambrose and Salem for snitching on her to the aunts. But then they're like, listen, you still got to like finish this shit out. Yeah, if you bring someone back to life, now you have to kill somebody.
I like that.
So I liked it too.
Yeah, I don't think when I first read like Sabrina, I've seen like a lot more like Satanist horror films and stuff, and even like The Witcher has this a lot. Like the spells, every spell they cast costs a lot. Like it either takes your life force, or it takes years off your life, or it does something to you. And I really like that kind of like, you brought somebody back, there's gonna be a cost to this spell. And it's not going to be like, oh, like, okay, so like I am nude or something. No, it's going to be a fucking big deal.
No.
Yeah.
Big deal. I like the next episode is titled Kill List, and I imagine that she is like making a list of all the people she might want to kill. It sounds pretty neat. Is that what happens, Chris?
Well, do you want just the cliff notes? I know you guys didn't read it.
Yeah, give us some cliff notes. Ago. Yeah, I don't want to be spoiled on it, but I'm curious.
I'm curious, like, where is it going? And does it have the same cover that's in this version? There's like a cover of like Sabrina with like a skull woman in a white dress.
No, the cover is Sabrina like talking to the audience, and she's like watching Afterlife with Archie on TV, and she's like, "Sorry, I've been gone for so long."
Oh no, that is not what's teased in my volume. At least it's like,
yeah, that's the cover.
The teaser was 4 years ago, so
Yeah, this came out like a week ago. So I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. She, I guess, looks up basically a '60s serial killer. And is like, this is the guy. I'm going to kill this guy because he's really bad. So, and she has a conversation with her cousin, right? And Salem, and they're like, you're going to have to do this. And she's like, yeah. And so she figures out she's going to do that. In the meantime, Harvey is like, what's going on? Sabrina calls and is like, I'm going to miss school. I'm very busy with a project I can't tell you about. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go to school because I haven't been in like a week or two. And he goes and is immediately like, what's her name? Cherry Blossom is like, oh, Harvey, you're alive. And he's like, yes, I am. Do we know each other? And that there's a relationship there. And then he's like, oh, that's this is the teacher that Sabrina mentioned. That's got to be the one. She's clearly like, he basically immediately gets a boner when he sees her in the hallway. So it's like, this is her.
Wow.
And so tonally, how does it feel? Like, does it feel like different than these previous issues?
No, it literally, I mean, it's just a continuation of the last issue, because then Sabrina, there's a twist. She goes to the prison where this guy is, and there's a reason she can't kill the guy that she thought was going to be like, well, he's the worst guy. Clearly he's who I should kill. But then finds out that it's not, things are not as simple as she thought. And then in the meantime, Harvey shows up to class, and Madam Satan is like, oh, hi, Edward. And he's got like an apple for her. And he's like, it's unclear, like, are they going to like get together? Is she going to like kill him? Like, what's going to happen? But the cliffhanger is them meeting each other. So very interesting. I am sad that Madam Satan was barely in this, other than Edward like recapping her, because I do think she's kind of the most interesting character in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Again, we're not reviewing it either, but I read all of her Golden Age appearances that are in the public domain from Pep Comics in 1941, and they're crazy. She's literally trying to like kiss people to send them to hell.
Yeah.
You were showing me pictures of that, and it is wild for 1941.
Looks good.
It
looks very good.
Yeah, it's it's pretty out there. Like, literally, I don't know how. I guess adults never read comics in the 40s, but I'm like, how could they think this was okay?
Yes. So we'll definitely come back to more Sabrina here once these other issues have come back. We might make it a regular Halloween thing if this storyline finishes.
I have no idea
we
if issue 10 has even been solicited.
Exactly. We got to wait and see if issue number 10 even makes it out. But hopefully our goal will be to read more Sabrina one day. But for right now, we are continuing on to Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck. We are on chapter 6 of 12 right now. This marks the halfway point. Really, the last issue felt like the halfway point.
Yeah, because he went back off to like set his adventures.
Yeah.
Oh, I got excited though, because the title of this is The Terror of Traval, and I was like, all right, I synced up a Halloween story, and that's not the case.
No, it's not.
No, that's too bad. So he is on his way to South Africa. He's in South Africa now. Gold has been discovered in Johannesburg, and so he has sailed to Cape Town, and he is headed there. He passes this is Scrooge McDuck doing all this. He passes a big diamond mine where there's this sneaky duck who's like trying to steal other people's diamonds, and so the miners have tied him to like a bull, and he's he's in trouble, so Scrooge helps him. And it's nothing for Scrooge. Scrooge brings real big Texas energy to this book. He's like, that's nothing compared to like a Texas Longhorn. And it's like all these South Africans are just like, man, who's this tough guy from Texas? But the thief is very thankful. Scrooge doesn't know he's a thief, but he comes on as his guide. He says his name is Boar. How does he introduce it? Yeah, he says, I'm a boar. Like, oh, I don't think you're that bad.
Yeah, Scrooge never learns his name. It's Flintheart Glomgold.
Yeah, he calls himself Boar. That's a lie. Flintheart Glomgold.
He is a boar. It's Dutch South African.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was saying that was his last name. Okay,
I thought it was too until we got to the rest of South Africa. And I'm like, oh, okay. But and I had to look up what Afrikaner meant and those kind of things.
He's an Elon Musk relative. I guess Elon Musk's relatives would have the diamond mine or whatever that they reference.
Yeah. But definitely Flintheart Glomgold. I mean, he is a major Scrooge villain. Definitely in DuckTales a lot. Very, very funny guy. But I remember him even in the classic DuckTales cartoon also.
Yeah, he was actually, I was reading about it. He only had, I think, 3 appearances in the classic 40s and 50s era. But Don Rosa brought him back, and then so DuckTales brought him back. So he becomes a bigger character.
He's basically like a parallel treasure hunter to Holmes.
Yeah, he's like a slightly more evil Scrooge.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it's like the evil group in Twister, like also searching the Twister.
Yes, he's exactly like Scrooge, but it's bad.
Yeah. So he's like, he's saying he's gonna help Scrooge out, but he agrees
teach him
to
a lesson.
stand watch. He says, "Hey, I'm gonna teach you a lesson." And he stands watch one night while Scrooge goes to sleep. When Scrooge wakes up, everything is gone, even the campfire, which I think is great. And he calls it. He's like, "What a viper!" And I think the townspeople, the miners before, also called him a viper. So I thought that was going to be his name. But then Scrooge is just like all alone in the forest of Africa with no gear, and it's like every animal in the forest versus Scrooge McDuck. And it's pretty good. It's a pretty entertaining, just like fight sequence of him going ballistic on all these animals, and he gets back to the village.
My daughter Diana was sitting in my lap while I was reading it. She was doing other stuff, but she definitely liked those few pages. She was pointing out all the animals. She liked the fights. Mm-hmm. She liked the lions and the giraffes and the rhinoceroses. It was fun.
Yeah. So he brings even more Texas energy down to the village when he finds this guy, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to kill you," but he does tar and feather him and take him to
something with feathers.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Hey, that's weird.
Yeah, I do like too that Flintheart is in the bar like, yeah, he tried to betray me, but I was able to fight him off. And like the bartender is like, okay, dude.
Whatever.
I like
nobody believes him.
I thought that was going to become a plot point, but nobody believed him to begin with. He went nowhere.
So Scrooge is now done with him. He's like, yeah, even if you make money the bad way, then you suck, and you got to make it the honest way, like me. But then this gold mine that he finally makes his way out to, it doesn't work either because you need to mine like lots and lots of it, and he's like just one guy. You need a big company, and he's like, well,
you need a big company with a lot of exploited workforces.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And he's like, yeah, that's a bust. But we get a recap of all his enemies. We see the Whiskervilles of Scotland, the Beagle Boys of the Mississippi, the McVipers of the Wild West, and Flintheart Glomgold. We finally learned this guy's name. And I just like that caption of, these are all the enemies he's made so far. His rogues gallery. It's pretty good.
And that also feels like a good halfway point now, too.
It does.
Collecting into 2 6-issue trades.
Yeah. So next time we'll, of course, move on to number 7 here. I like where the Scrooge story is going, but I need some action here. I need some big developments coming up soon.
They seem like Scrooge adventures, but not like a lore that's. I mean, I guess they just said he's built up his whole rogues gallery, but I was expecting like a. I don't know what I've been expecting, but more of a lore and him learning, and I also was expecting old Scrooge by this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, this issue does have a little bit of that where he's like, I do learn from experience. You made me mean. So, he is
tougher
very
than
trusting.
The toughies,
Yeah, he's very trusting at the beginning, and like the fact that he's just like, no, I don't trust anybody. That it's leading towards. I think we've covered it for this show, but that was it. The Christmas issue. It's the first appearance of Uncle Scrooge where he's like, I hate everybody and everybody hates me. Yep. Where he'll get to that point where he's just like, I don't trust anyone. I don't like anyone. I only love my money.
Well, yeah. So next time we'll do. We got the whole second half of this thing. We'll see where it ends up going. And we are also reading. Ooh, there's an Eternals movie coming out soon, or TV show.
I think it'll be out before our next episode. I think it comes out next week, like November 3rd, 5th, somewhere.
Is it a movie or a show?
It's a film. Starring Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek and Kumail Nanjiani. It's from Oscar-winning director Chloe Zhao, which I think she had to have made Nomadland her Best Picture winner after Eternals, just because I feel like Eternals is a Vex-heavy movie. But I don't know much about it. Honestly, the trailer looks very boring to me. It looks like the Inhumans TV show. I've never cared about the Eternals.
I don't feel like I don't know anything about the Eternals. We're gonna do some learning here. We're gonna read the. Yeah. What's that?
They're a Jack Kirby creation, which, but it feels like from like the DC New Gods kind of era, even though this is Marvel, where it's just kind of, I'm just not ever been my type of cup of tea for comics. So
I'll give you all a crash course next time, but this is his fourth pass at this same concept.
Yeah, so we're reading Neil Gaiman's Eternals series from 2006 with John Romita Jr. At his blockiest, I think is what we said. And we'll see. This originally started as a 6-issue miniseries, but it turned into a 7-issue. So we'll read Eternals 1 through 7 from 2006.
Yeah, that is so funny. I've read a million Marvel series where it's like part 1 of 5 or part 1 of 4, and then they're like, actually, it's only 3 or it's only 4. That's the Neil Gaiman difference. Is he's like, no, I need more.
Yeah. They took that issue from Big Hero 6 so that they could give it to
Exactly. Big Hero 6 is an example of a series that they're like, we're cutting this right now.
Right now. Neil Gaiman needs pages, and we have none other to give him.
He needs
just
the
draw
paper.
over these old.
He needs the paper.
But yeah, so that'll be fun. What else is going on? Chris, what's your stupid minds doing?
We have a very special Halloween episode that's going to be coming out this week. If you all listened to it the last week of October, it featuring a certain Michael Myers. Does he make you Randy, etc. Probably the worst Halloween movie. I haven't watched every single.
There's a lot of bad ones. I can't
say for sure.
Is it one of the remakes, or is it the Halloween Resurrection with Busta Rhymes? Or is the one with Paul Rudd?
You've said the one we're covering. I won't say which one, but you've said
it. Well, then you need to subscribe to Your Stupid Mind so you can get that right in your feed. And also hit them up on Twitter and Facebook and like their page. So you can be the first to know which Halloween they think is the worst one.
I think a witch Halloween would be
pretty bad.
Season of the Witch, Halloween 3.
Yeah, I was going to say
not
Halloween
the one
3.
without Mike Myers.
Yeah, a good Halloween movie, but famously hated because Michael Myers isn't in it.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Well, Vincent, you have anything happen?
That was a game. Posted a new episode a couple weeks ago. I've already forgotten which one it was.
Oh yeah, Tetris 2. I didn't watch
Tetris 2. Yeah, it's good. Tetris 2, the game that was so ballsy. They were like, you know what? This deserves to get a numbered sequel to Tetris. And I was like, and I discovered that. I went down the rabbit hole of thinking, clearly this is an American capitalistic thing because there's no Tetris 2 in Japan. This thing is called Tetris Flash. But it's because Japan already had a Tetris 2 and a Tetris 3 and a Tetris 4D by this point.
What?
Yeah. So
wow.
There's, so dig into that on our YouTube channel. All My Friends Are Right Here. The show is called That Was the Game to learn all about American Tetris 2 and Japanese Tetris 2. Lots of Tetris.
Interesting. Lots of Tetris. I have not had a chance to play like any video games. I'm just like stuck on Baba Is You levels, and maybe one day. I still have not purchased Metroid Dread, but my brother lent me Super Mario Odyssey, so maybe I'll play that soon. But that's it. That's the story of games. I think that's everything. for right now, yeah. Listener, we love you for listening to us. Vince, I love you.
I love you too.
I did that backwards. The listeners come at the end. Hold on. Let's rewind this. Listeners, we'll get back to you at the end. Okay. Vince, I love you.
I love you too.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Chris, I love you.
No, if I kissed you, I'd be damned to hell.
Jesus. Vince gave me 2 I love yous today. And listeners, we love you. That's when I usually say it. Yeah, that makes more sense. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.